If you're here, then you want to turn your skill set or your expertise into a highly scalable and highly impactful online education business or an online course, and you're in the right place. Not only have I helped thousands of people do just that in every niche imaginable, from boat builders to dancers to doctors to foot jugglers to lawyers to accountants to spiritual healers to everything in between, I kid you not. I've been doing this a long time. I've also been able to grow my own online education business to multiple 8 figures since I started. I've learned so much. And that's why I want to share this with you so you can avoid some of the common mistakes that people make and truly understand how to sell a course without having followers, an audience, or even paid advertising. So if that sounds exciting to you, give this video a like. Be sure to subscribe for more videos every single week. And this really is the place to be to create a peaceful, purposeful, and profitable online education business. That's what this channel is dedicated to and it's all about. And if you really want to take this seriously, then I encourage you to check out the link in the description where you can fill out an application to share your goals in terms of the online course business that you want to create so that you can potentially speak to a real person on my team and we can guide you on that process and see if you're a great fit to work with us in helping you bring your online business, online course business to life, just like we've done for so many other people. So check that out, fill out the application as thoroughly as possible at the link in the description. All right, so you have a skill set, you have an expertise, you just have no idea how to actually monetize it, sell it, turn it into an online program that actually works. And that's what we're gonna dig into today. Because the last thing you wanna do is go down the rabbit hole of so much crap information out there from people who really haven't been doing this for very long, or maybe they had a one-hit wonder and they're trying to share advice and it's well-intended, but it's incredibly confusing. There's a lot of free information online out there that isn't really going to help you. So I wanted to kind of sift through the clutter and give you the clear game plan today. Also, you might be considering, okay, well, nothing's working. Let me just throw a bunch of money at ads. Oh my gosh, please don't do that. Please don't do that. I'll explain why in a second. So we're going to share the 5 steps in this video today to help you get your course off the ground. And just to give you a little context here, I'm going to actually share a story with you of 2 clients that I've worked with. One came to me with over 200,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and she could only sell 2 courses. That's it. When she started working with me, she had only sold 2 of the courses that she spent so much time creating and generated less than $700 doing so. 200,000 subscribers, $700 in course sales. I also had another client who ended up building an audience using the methodology I'm going to share today of 61 people. That's it. That's all from scratch. And she ended up generating over $200,000 with her online program launch. I actually have a whole video that I did about that as a case study, and I'll share that with you in a little more detail on that story a little later in this video. So a couple things we need to know right off the bat. Paying for ads before you have a proven offer and clear messaging is like throwing money into a dumpster fire or just throwing it down the toilet. It is complete and utter waste of your time, your resources, most importantly, your hard-earned money, especially in the beginning of your business. You don't necessarily need ads at all. We have clients who have scaled to multiple 6 figures a month without ads at all. And if you are going to use them, you don't need them until much later. And you have a ton of proof in the door. Having a small audience is a good thing. Having a massive audience does not guarantee sales, as I just mentioned. A small audience and building an audience from the ground up is the best thing you can do because you're actually building an audience of buyers as opposed to an audience of followers. The outdated and most inefficient way to build and sell an online program today is hands down to try and build your audience and then sell. We're going to dig into why it's important to build and sell at the same time. So the whole goal of this is what I like to call the 3 C's, which are the fundamentals to building a successful online education business. Cash flow in the door so you have stability in your business and proof of profit and proof of concept that people actually want it. Client results so you have social proof to be able to scale and prove that what you have in your curriculum actually works. And most importantly, confidence in your offer. If you aren't confident in what you're selling and have practice in it, you're never going to sell it. Okay, without further ado, the 5 steps we're going to dig into. Number 1, search and rescue ICAs. You'll understand what that means in a second, but basically it means search and rescue your ideal clients. Number 2, optimize for authority. Number 3, build a buyer's list. And number 4, pre-sell. Finally, number 5 is scale. This is all without paid ads or following. let's do it. So step number 1 is search and rescue your ICAs. Now, you cannot possibly find clients for your program unless you actually know where to look for them. So I'm going to talk about where to find them in a second, but most importantly, you need to understand that your messaging and your ideal client are the absolute foundational pieces of building a successful business. Because if you don't know these things, you're going to be shooting fish in a barrel and never be able to actually land the client that you want. So first and foremost, your messaging is fundamentally based on what we call a transformation statement or unique selling proposition. I help blank go from blank to blank so that they can blank. I've gone over this concept in many other videos. I'm going to put a whole playlist below that's going to be an extra resource for you. But essentially it means I help my ideal client, so describe who that ideal client is, go from 0 state to hero state. So their worst, most challenged, most frustrated place to their desired outcome so that they can deeper desired outcome here. So that they can have freedom, so they can have self-esteem, so they can have confidence, so they can achieve the true desired outcome behind that end goal of the program. Once you understand this, then you know who you're looking for and how you're ultimately serving them. Most importantly, you really understand the 3 fundamental key factors of your ideal client, which are the one ideal client at one specific tipping point. This is probably the biggest mistake that people make when they build an online program or even, start to think about one. They think I'm just going to jam a bunch of information into a course and hope it sells. That doesn't work. What we need to really know is where is the pain and urgency? Where are they at when they're most likely to take this seriously, to invest and to do the work? That's what you need to identify. And then the one specific outcome that they are seeking, which is there. So knowing these 3 factors and knowing your transformation statement allows you to pinpoint exactly where your ideal clients are hanging out. Now, how do you actually find them and eventually go and rescue them? You need to think about this in the sense that you cannot just post on social media and hope people come to you, especially if you have no following, no audience. That's not how it works. In the beginning stages of social media, and even today, I still do this today, you have to be active. You have to be proactive and put yourself out there. So in terms of where you can find folks and where our clients have had a lot of success finding people, Facebook groups are incredible resources. Just go into Facebook, search a specific topic, and you'll be able to find your ideal clients hanging out in these groups and actually talking and being active where you can provide value to them. Any social platform, and the big thing here is you want to focus on the platform where there's the least friction for you. So where is the platform you're already using, you know how to use? Don't start from scratch and just reinvent the wheel. You want to start where you actually know the platform, can use the platform easily, and find your folks. So this could be LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever it may be, forums, Reddit, finding influencers online who have a following of your ideal client and engage in the comments section, provide value in the comments section, be a part of the conversation. That's how you attract eyeballs. Media, are there media in your industry or where your ideal clients would be following? Be a part of the conversation there as well on their social platforms. Position yourself as an authority. Strategic partnerships. This has been hugely successful for a lot of our clients. It means that you find people who have a following because you don't, and you say to them, hey, I have this program. This is what I'm providing to my clients. Would you be interested in partnering with me on it? You give them a cut of the sale, and they promote it to their audience, which helps you build your audience with a lot more efficiency. And offline, we've had clients find their ideal clients at universities, at workshops, at conferences, at speaking engagements they may have had or they're attending. You need to get creative and think about where your ideal client is hanging out. Truly search for these people as if their lives depended on it, because sometimes they do. And then your job is to go and rescue them and actually start the conversation with them and not sit back and hope that clients come to you. So that really is step 1. Step number 2, optimize for authority. Now, it's really important to understand we're not trying to attract a massive audience here. You can't possibly fulfill or serve millions of people. So it doesn't make sense to try and go for vanity numbers. It makes sense to go for quality. Okay. So important thing to note is that if you're using social media or using any online platform, are you positioned or optimized for success? That means looking at the very fundamentals. Do you have a bio that explains what you do and how you help people? Simply put, you can just put your transformation statement there, which we just went over. Do you have an image that reflects the kind of image that you want to portray? And it's not just some cartoon avatar, because I'm sorry, nobody's taking that seriously. Do you have a link? And this is not a link to some sort of opt-in or freebie or guide or webinar or masterclass. Creating those things before you have proof of concept and buyers in the door does not make sense because you don't have your messaging dialed. The link is simply a link to get on a call with you. That is the easiest, most frictionless way to convert strangers into clients. So you can use a Calendly link. There's other types of scheduling links that you can use, but that needs to be in there. People need to know how they can contact you. The next thing is, are you set up and optimized for the algorithm? So anything on your bio or on your profile or that you're sharing on social media needs to address two key things: who and what. Because every single social media platform works the same way. If you don't share content that directly speaks to your ideal client and what you want to be known for and be the authority in, it confuses the crap out of the algorithm. And it doesn't know where to place you or use its internal traffic sources to serve you to more of those people. So you have to audit every piece of content that you're creating, even if you're starting from zero. Most importantly, if you're starting from zero, so you can start with a strong foundation and go, is this speaking to my ideal client? And is this positioning myself to be known for the thing I want to be known for? And if it isn't, don't create it and don't share it. All right, now you know where to find your people. Now we actually need to build a buyer's list. Now, don't let that fool you. You are not going out there and hard pitching what it is that you have to sell. This is about research and listing. This is a process that we have proven and tested with thousands of people, and it's called the 50 ICA process. And essentially what it is you're actually going to get on a Zoom interview with people who fit the bill of being your ideal client and ask them questions. I know, shocking, right? You're going to listen to them and what they really want. It makes the process of creating a course that's going to sell a lot easier. So first and foremost, once you know where to find them, your first job is to provide value. So when you're going into those forums or those offline spaces or using social platforms, how can you be of service? Okay. How can you provide value? How can you answer questions, provide support, provide guidance or feedback? That's step one. Once you provide value, then you take the connection further and you follow them, you friend request them, etc. From there, you built a relationship and a rapport, and that's when you can go into direct messages. Into direct messages, from there, you're gonna go into a conversation, better understand what they need, ask specific questions, and from there, you're going to schedule a Zoom interview, and from there, you're gonna ask what we call your ICA money questions. Now, these are a specific set of questions that I have hand-selected that our clients use and ask people when they get these on their Zoom interviews, and they provide absolute gold for you as the course creator. Essentially, when you ask these questions to your ideal client, they hand deliver you what needs to go in your curriculum. So you're just listening and researching at this point. From this place, when you do connect with these people, and your goal is just 50. Okay, so some people can do this in 2 weeks, some people it takes a little bit longer, but it's just 50 human beings. You're not trying to build a massive audience, you're trying to build a small but super targeted audience. So from there, you're going to make sure you have a spreadsheet with their name, their contact information. Are they a good fit? And finally, have you scheduled a time to actually speak to them again when you have a program to sell? Because you want to listen first, create an outline for the curriculum, which I'm going to talk about in a second, not build the whole thing, but create an outline and let them know that you have it available to sell, and they will be your first buyers. Now, this really becomes the foundation and basis of your email list, which is the most important asset any online business owner can have. So building an email list from scratch in this way, make sure you have a really healthy list of the people that are actually going to want to work with you. I have a whole other video, which I'm going to add to the playlist below, on building an email list without an opt-in or a freebie from scratch, and you're definitely going to want to check out that next. The fourth step is pre-selling your program. So we have the list of buyers because we've done our research calls. We now have created an exchange of value because we really understand what they need, and now we can actually deliver it. You created your transformation statement. I help blank go from blank to blank so that they can blank, so you know exactly what your positioning and your messaging is and your ideal client. You then create your curriculum outline. So you take your client from 0 to hero. And this right here is the curriculum that bridges the gap between the 0 and hero state. That is what an online program is. It needs to create a transformation. You're not building the whole thing, you're just creating an outline, which doesn't take more than a few hours. From there, you have booked your follow-up calls with the folks who are perfect ideal clients out of that list. And then finally, you're going to do the math to make sure you hit your numbers. So for example, the woman that I mentioned earlier who's in our program, she built a list of 61 people doing this process. She ended up converting 33 of them into clients. Her price point for her program was $6,500. She ended up generating $214,000 with her online program launch by following this process. So like I said, I've set up a whole pre-sale playlist where you can really better understand this process and see this case study in real life. And this is exactly what we teach inside of our Authority Accelerator program, obviously in much more depth with step-by-step instructions of how to do it. So like I said, if you're interested in that, be sure to hit the link below and fill out an application so we can see how we can best support you and if we're a fit to work together. And the final piece of this is we haven't touched YouTube at this point. This is really important. I think people have a misconception that you immediately start using YouTube to build your audience, but if you don't start testing it in the way that I shared earlier with more on-demand platforms and offline and online resources, and you start with YouTube, you're going to screw things up for yourself because you want to really have your messaging dialed. And what's the best way to do that? To listen to potential clients. So those interviews are not just good for getting a list of buyers, they're also amazing for creating high converting content because you know exactly what they're looking for and exactly what they need. So who and what? Every piece of content on your YouTube channel as an entrepreneur needs to address those two things so the algorithm knows what to do with you. And how that works is it starts with you need to know your ideal viewer, which is your ideal client. And then you make relevant content for that exact viewer, not for everybody, for that exact viewer. And from there, the algorithm categorizes you and your channel, which is hugely beneficial because you're feeding it with the right information and then the algorithm starts to work for you. So then it starts to use its traffic sources to attract and put your content in more of these places where these ideal viewers are hanging out. So you start to build your audience organically without having to do any more work because you're feeding the algorithm with the right information. I have a whole playlist on using YouTube to grow your business, and I go in depth on all of this. So you'll go want to check that out next. That's also listed in the description below. Paying for ads before you have any proof of concept or clarity on your messaging is a huge waste of your time. So my hope with this video is that it saves you time, money, energy, and mental space on doing the wrong things. You don't need to have a following. You don't need to have paid ads in order to make an online education business work. We have so many examples of folks that have scaled without an audience at all. And none of our clients at this point are using paid ads. And like I said, a lot of them have scaled to 10, 20, 30, 50, $300,000 a month organically using this process. And here's the thing, if at some point you think I need to use paid advertising, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, etc., you still need to have an organic traffic source. So you still need to understand this process because they both need to balance each other out and to truly create consistency in your business. I speak with a lot of experience on this. Organic needs to come first. And then if you feel like you need paid advertising, use it, but you still need to use a blend of both. Okay. I hope this was helpful. Please comment below and let me know, just with helpful, just say helpful in the comments if this was helpful for you, if you had a light bulb moment. I'd love to hear it. Comments truly are my love language. They mean a lot to me and I do read them. Be sure to give this a like and subscribe for new videos every single week. And like I said, I have 2 playlists below linked for you, one on pre-selling, one on using YouTube to grow your business. And the application is linked below if you're ready to take this seriously and truly build a business around your unique skill set and your expertise with an online program. So fill that out thoroughly so that we know if it's the right step for us to get on a conversation and potentially work together. Thank you so much for watching. Check out the resources below and I will see you in the next one. Bye.